Okay, now for the demo session, this is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to create files. We're going to basically recreate what I did in the last class where I created my profile picture. We're going to create square frame, rename it, create 3 circles, add stroke to 1, exactly what I did in the last session. So let's go create a profile picture. So let me copy this and put it there, so we'll find it. So I've added a text box. You can see zoom in. Don't forget to zoom in is hold your control keys and scroll with your mouse. Then you can see for scaling and moving here on the top left, click on this, click on scale, and then you can scale. But sometimes it's just a waste of time, or most times once you're an expert, all you do is just type V for moving and then K on your keyboard to scale. Sometimes I don't even use those things. I just click on highlight the whole text, come to your right tools section, and you can see regular, which is the text size. You can change it to whatever you like, italic, bold. Then this is the sizes, so let me say 200. Then I'll just use move to adjust it. Okay, now I'm going to be creating an A4 frame. So I'll click on frame, I'll come this way to the right, and I'll come to paper, and I'll select A4. So I have an A4 here, so I'll go here. This is an A4. Okay, so next up I'll create a square frame. I'll create another frame, square. This one is going to be square, but this time around we're going to have our own custom size. So just create the square, then come here under W and H, which is width and height. We're going to type in 1080, and you also type 1080 here on the height, so that's a perfect square. So this is an Instagram post size. Okay, it's an Instagram post size. So now I have 2 frames. Okay, so A4. So I'm going to rename my A4 now as Polota A4. And then this frame, we're going to rename it as Polota profile. Okay, sometimes in renaming I usually like doing this. It helps to connect so that it doesn't distort the eyes. So once that is done, so these 2 files are mine. Okay, now next thing I want to do is create my circles. So I'll go up, choose the ellipse tool. I'll hold down the shift key, or I can just create the circle. Even if it turns out like this, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'll just come here and give it a size. So let's say I want to give it the same 1080 by 1080. It's going to take a perfect shape, and change the color to something bright so that I can see it. Okay, now I've created this circle, so I'm going to duplicate it by using Ctrl D. So I've used Ctrl D. You can see it's already duplicated here, and I'll move it. When you duplicate the very first item, it doesn't move on its own. Okay, it is when you move it out of the way and duplicate the second item, then it automatically moves to exactly where you moved the first file to. So if I want to duplicate these files and I want them to just stay in line, I'll just keep duplicating. Ctrl D, Ctrl D. Okay. Alright, so I have 3 clips now. Remember that this first one we're going to add stroke. So come down here to your right hand tool side and add the stroke. You can increase it to all the way to let's say 25. Increase it to 25. Then look at fill. You can see this eye here. Close this eye, so it means we're hiding the fill. So this circle is transparent now. It's a transparent circle. Okay, now come to this circle. This is the one we're going to be using for the masking. Okay, so let's leave it. Then this one is going to be the one that's going to be behind the picture that I'm going to import. So let's go again. Now I want to import my pictures into this Figma file. I'll just go to my file manager and I'll go to where I have my picture. I already have a picture that I've removed the background before now, but I would like to show you guys how I did it. So let's go and do it all over again. So I have some images here and I'm going to be using this picture. Okay, so now I have it, right? I'm just going to click. Okay, let me do this so that will be easy for you. I'm just going to reduce the size of this, and then that's the picture. Scroll down back to the picture. This is it. I just click, drag, and drop. Okay. Now I have my picture here, but because I've not removed the background, I still have to go and take out the background first. So let's go to background. Let's type remove.bg. So just type remove.bg. It will take you to remove background picture. Once the page finishes loading, you'll see. Okay, so just the way we imported that one into Figma, just the same way. Drag this and drop it into the website. And if your network is faster than mine, it would have been done by now. My network is very slow. Okay, so now just go ahead and download the picture. So go back to your Figma, go to your file manager because you have downloaded that picture. You have it here, drag it and drop it. So let's take this one apart and we have this one here. So now we're going to be masking this picture on top of that. Okay, so I want to zoom in, reduce the size a bit, and we're masking now. Okay, so I have it on top. Now just highlight both of them and use the masking tool, mask it up. So I have this inside this picture now. Now when you hover on top of the masking file, you are going to be moving the entire mask. So in order for you to adjust again, if you want to adjust this picture, you double click. Now this is the picture frame, and then you can now adjust it and move it around. Okay, you can now move it around. So I think I did a good job before, so I'll leave it that way. So now let's move it aside and put it on top of this circle. Or before we do that, we can change the color of this by doing this. Okay, and if I change the color of that now, we would not know how it will look like on the white shirts. So now let's come here. This is the eclipse. So now let's rename this eclipse as background eclipse. You don't need to remove the eclipse so that you know that it's an eclipse. So you can remove the number, but just know it's background eclipse. Yeah, and then come and let's change the color to what we want. So can play around with the colors. Can use here. Give it whatever tone you like. So for me, I like this tone. I'm going to leave it that way. Now we have this. We have this. Oh, sorry. We have this mask group. Now let's rename the mask group to Paul mask group, and then eclipse. So WhatsApp image, yes, eclipse, and then this is it. So we have Paul mask group, we have eclipse 12, which is that circle. So let's rename this eclipse 12 to empty eclipse. Okay, so empty eclipse, let's take out the number. So I have empty eclipse, but mind you, we don't know if this is on top that or this is on top. So let's see. Okay, we're lucky, it's on top of the background, but it's under the picture. So we can have it anyways, we can have it both ways. So let's just highlight this and duplicate. So let's assume that we want the second form of design. We can easily just move this eclipse up and it will look like this on top of the picture. So let's do this and group. So we have Paul, so I have Paul profile pic. So this is Paul's profile pic. This is one I'm using. So if I want to still keep this one, I can group it as well and say, let's just copy this and paste it here. So let's give it a number 1 and 2. Okay, so let's assume I don't like this black, I want to change it. So I'll just double click and I'm getting it already, empty eclipse. Just come here to stroke and change the color to your desired color. Let's take coffee brown. I think this is looking like what I like. Let's see. Okay, I want this color here, this brown, I want this color here, so I'll just come here and copy it and then come here, empty eclipse, and paste that color code. Okay, so I have these two pictures, and I'll group it again and scroll it down, and then so I have this So you can see profile pic. Let's put it here, center it. So if you zoom in, use your scale, press your key on your keyboard and scale it. So this is Instagram size. Yeah, now you can have this and export it. Scroll down, click on export and export. Let me show you what it looks like. Yeah, exactly what we designed. This is exactly what we designed. Now, if you might be asking, how can you take out this white background on the frame? All you simply need to do is click on the frame, which is Paul Owota profile. Come here to your right hand side and you will see fill. Make sure you are clicking on this, on the whole frame itself, the frame. You're clicking on the frame and then come here and then look at this fill. Just close it and then you have it, Paul's profile. And if you should download it now, go to our folder and it's already here. So when you use this on any platform now, it's going to be without any background. Okay, now that's for that. Okay, so now what else are we going to do? Let's give it an effect, or let's give this one an effect. Okay, I want to have a shadow. What do I do? I want it to have a shadow, so I'm going to come here and then if you come to your right hand side, you will see scale, because you're actually on scale, you're clicking on scale. But if you press V, you see that everything here will change. If you press K again, it will change. If you press V, not that. If you press K, it will tell you to scale, so you have to click outside. If you press V, you can see down just above exports, you see effects. So if you click on effects, it has already added a shadow. So to edit that shadow, you click on this icon and you can play with it. Increase this X, increase the blur. You can come to Y, increase the Y. The spread is only supported for frames. You can see that. So since this is not a frame, I can't increase the spread. Okay, but we can increase the strength of the blurriness. You can see this shadow effect. That's how we get it. Now let's try to see what will happen if we're doing the same for this one. So let's see, because I'm selecting the whole frame here, I'm not selecting the circle. Come down, you see effects and then click on this and then increase and then increase this. Make it visible so you can see. I can increase the spread here because this is a frame. Once this is done, you're going to be, now we have A4 frame, we have our profile picture. Okay, now we're going to be creating our profile page here by doing this. I'm going to be doing this. We're going to be adding our names here. So we have Paul Owota's A4. I'm going to select text and type it. So it's too big. Let me just type Paul. Highlight everything. Increase the size. Let's say 100. And then type K and scale it down. Okay, Now we're going to be bringing in this frame, scale it down and put it inside. So now I want everybody's work to be uniform, so that means we're going to be doing this. So we're going to be using size. So let's do 165 by 165. So that's the perfect shape. But mind you, let's just scale down, that's it. Then bring your name, so this is my A4. So the next person is going to do, let me show you what the next person is going to do. Next person is going to create their own A4 underneath. So if the next person is here, this is what you're going to do. You're going to draw a line. You take a line, you draw it. Okay. Once you draw that line, make sure that the line is straight by looking up here. Make sure it's in 0 degrees. Now increase the strength by coming here to increase the strength of that line. Let's say 20. And then you can now create your file under. So come here, click on your frame, click on A4 and take it and put it here. Then you can start creating your circles. Start creating your circles here. Hold your shift key to create a perfect circle, or come here and give it 1080 by 1080. And then duplicate your circles into 3. And then don't forget to create your square shape. Don't forget to create your square frame and give it 1080 by 1080 as well. And just leave it here for now. And then repeat the task. Repeat what I did to achieve what I did here. So that will be all for now. I hope you all understand all the signs here from the slide and we're able to do this task. So see you on the next class.